The pound has had a hugely beneficial effect on consumer spending in terms of the international tourist and also the domestic tourist. International tourists are flocking to London. It's terrific value to shop in London, and we've seen an enormous uplift in the number of tourists in the shop right through Christmas. In fact, I don't think they even went home for Christmas. It's been very consistent from about April onwards. In terms of domestic tourism, that's also been very strong. I think British families have been put off going abroad, particularly to Europe, because it's so expensive in Europe for us at the moment, and they've been having short breaks and day trips to London instead. And we've benefited enormously from that.
In the last 12 months, because of the weakness of the pound, on average, our prices have increased on fine watches by about 25%, which has caused people to downgrade the watch they're buying, not the amount they're buying. International brands have put their prices up in the UK, but not as much as the pound would require. Hence, the UK is a relatively cheap place to buy luxury goods today.
The funding environment has unquestionably changed for retailers, and while we are starting to hear more talk about corporate activity, about possible floats or private equity deals, certainly they're going to be on different terms to how they were with the boom times a couple of years ago. So it is going to be more challenging to raise finance. The best retailers, it will still be possible to sell them, whether to the public markets or to private equity, but it will be tougher. There'll be a higher level of equity required to do the deals.
For the best part of 2009 and early 2010, retailing hasn't really been the first industry that you would invest in. I think inevitably that will change, and particularly as there are better deals to be done on the high street and so on, we will see some movement, but I wouldn't really expect that we'll see a significant change in terms of investment until probably the early part of 2011.